You know that feeling when an AI just dumps this mountain of information on you
Oh,
and you're trying to figure out what's actually useful?
oh, definitely. Information overload is real.
Yeah, so today we're diving into something that feels like a superpower against that. Prompt engineering? It's kind of becoming essential, right?
Absolutely. It's the difference between having a powerful tool and actually knowing how to wield it effectively.
So let's unpack that. Prompt engineering.
Hmm.
What is it exactly? Why is everyone talking about it now? We've got some material here, looks like from Winston Trim, that should help us explore this.
Right. And our mission today really is for you, the learner, to get a solid grasp of it. We want you to walk away knowing what it is, why it's so important now, get a sense of how these language models work.
The LMs?
Exactly, the LLMs. And crucially, the basic principles for writing prompts that actually, work, get you the results you want. We're aiming for those aha moments today.
Love those. Okay, let's jump right in. Fundamentally, what is prompt engineering?
Okay, so at its core, prompt engineering is really about designing effective instructions, the prompts for these large language models. It's a bit of an art, a bit of a science.
I hope so.
Well, think of it like giving instructions to a super intelligent assistant. Extremely knowledgeable, but also very literal. It needs things spelled out clearly.
Okay, so you can't just vaguely gesture at what you want.
Really, no. The better the prompt, the more specific and clear, the better the AI understands what you're actually looking for. You get much more targeted, useful output.
That art and science bit is interesting. What's the science part and what's the art?
The science is understanding a bit about how these models function. They learn patterns from huge data sets, right? Statistical relationships between words. So they're predicting what comes next based on the patterns in your prompt.
Got it. Pattern matching.
Exactly. The art is in how you phrase things, using language creatively with nuance to kind of nudge the AI towards the intent behind your words, finding that sweet spot between your goal and how the AI thinks in patterns.
It feels like such a leap. I mean, not long ago, we were just getting used to voice assistants, understanding basic commands. Why this big shift now?
It's because the models themselves got so much more powerful. These LLMs have incredible potential, but they don't understand in the human sense. They don't easily infer your meaning if you're vague.
So the prompt is the bridge.
Precisely. It translates what you intend into a structure the AI can process based on all those patterns it learned. If the prompt is weak, unclear, lacking context, the output can be, well,
All over the place.
yeah, vague, irrelevant, sometimes just plain weird, like asking for driving directions and getting a history of road construction.
Okay.
When you nail the prompt, that's when you unlock what these things can really do. Writing assistance, summarizing complex stuff, coding help, answering really specific questions.
And for you, the learner, it means cutting through the noise and getting straight to the valuable stuff quickly.
Exactly. You're learning to sort of fine-tune your natural language to communicate effectively with this new kind of intelligence.
It's quite a shift from how we used to interact with computers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Think back. Remember command lines, super cryptic programming languages.
And like hieroglyphics, yeah.
Yeah,
You needed to be a specialist.
totally. Then came GUIs, graphical interfaces, icons, menus, much easier than voice assistants for simple tasks. But this prompt engineering with LLMs, it feels like the next big step towards really natural interaction.
So instead of learning code, we're learning how to phrase things clearly in, well, English in our case.
Pretty much learning the nuances of how to ask. And that's huge because it opens up AI to way more people. You don't need a deep tech background anymore to get amazing things done with AI. It's more accessible.
Which is great for anyone wanting to learn and apply this stuff efficiently.
Mhm.
Okay, so we need to talk to the AI effectively, but how does it actually process that prompt? You mentioned pattern matching.
Right. Think of them as incredibly sophisticated pattern recognizers. They've been trained on just unimaginable amounts of text and code. And through that training, they learn statistical links, like which words tend to follow other words in certain contexts. When you give it a prompt, it looks at the patterns in your prompt.
The words, the structure.
Yes, and it predicts the most likely sequence of words to come next based on everything it's learned. It uses complex internal mechanisms, these things called transformer networks, to figure out which words in your prompt are most important and how they relate.
So it's predicting based on patterns, not really understanding like we do.
Exactly. It's incredibly complex pattern replication, not human-like comprehension. Your prompt gives it the starting pattern, and it generates what statistically fits.
You had a simple analogy, peanut butter,
Ah, right. If I say peanut butter and...
jelly. Or jam, maybe.
Right. Most people complete the pattern easily. The LLM does that, but with billions of patterns learned from its data. Your prompt is the peanut butter and it finds the most probable jelly.
Okay, that helps visualize it. So knowing it's about patterns, how does that help us write better prompts? Can we look at some examples, like good prompt versus bad prompt?
Definitely. Let's take a simple one first. Imagine you just tell the AI, write a story.
Super vague.
Totally. You could get anything, a two-sentence thing about a cat, maybe, probably not what you had in mind.
Right.
But contrast that with, write a short science fiction story set 100 years in the future where humans have developed the ability to communicate with animals. Focus on the first encounter between a scientist and a whale.
Okay, much more specific. You're giving it genre, setting, characters, focus.
Exactly. You're providing a much richer, clearer pattern.
Mhm.
The AI now has strong constraints and context. The story it generates is way more likely to be focused and interesting and closer to what you pictured. And interestingly, the more sort of human-like and detailed the instruction, the better the AI seems to grasp the intent, even though it's processing patterns.
That's a huge difference. What's another scenario? Maybe something about context.
Good one. Context is vital. Let's say you just ask, what are the main points?
Main points of what?
Exactly. The AI has no idea. It might ask you or just guess wildly. It's like jumping into the middle of a conversation.
Useless.
Right. Now, compare that to read the following article about the impact of social media on teenagers. And you'd paste the article text here. What are the three main arguments presented in the article?
Okay. You're giving it the source material, the context.
Precisely. Now it knows exactly what to analyze and what you want extracted. It saves you so much time because the answer is directly relevant. Context is king.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
What about asking for things in a certain way? Like, does the format matter?
Oh, absolutely. Let's say you need team building ideas. You could ask, give me some ideas for a team building activity.
You'd probably get a messy list.
Probably. Just a jumble of ideas. But what if you said, generate a list of 3 creative team building activities suitable for a remote team of 5 people. For each idea, include a brief description and estimated time commitment. Format this as a numbered list.
Much better. Structured, specific criteria.
Exactly. You're telling it how you want the information presented. Numbered, list, description, time. That makes the output immediately usable for your purpose.
Okay, these examples really drive it home. The prompt is everything. So distilling this down, what are the absolute core principles we need to remember?
Okay, let's break down maybe 4 key ones. First, and maybe most obvious, is clarity and specificity.
No ambiguity.
Right. Use precise language. Give enough detail. Think back to write a story versus the sci-fi whale story. Specificity guides the AI. Instead of summarize this, try summarize the key findings of this research paper on renewable energy in under 200 words, focusing on economic benefits. See the difference.
Yeah, much clearer target. Okay, what's principle number 2?
Number 2 is contextual awareness. We just saw how vital this is. You need to provide the background info.
Anchor the AI.
Exactly. Anchor its understanding. Without context, you get generic, maybe useless answers. Remember, what are the main points? Versus giving it the article or, say, a meeting transcript and asking for key decisions from that transcript.
Got it. Context provides the frame. What's next?
Third is specifying the desired format and style. Don't just ask for information. Tell the AI how you want it presented.
Like the numbered list example.
Yes, or specify if you need an email, a poem, a report outline, and the tone. Professional, casual, humorous, analytical, instead of just explain blockchain.
You could say.
Write a concise explanation of blockchain in 3 paragraphs for a business professional with no prior tech knowledge. Keep the tone informative but accessible. That shapes the output significantly.
So you're directing the what and the how. Okay, what's the last one?
The 4th one we'll cover is constraints and boundaries, setting limits.
Like word count.
Word count, yes. Or number of items, like give me 5 ideas. You can also tell it what not to include. Avoid technical jargon, or don't mention competitors. This helps focus the response and keeps it manageable.
So instead of just marketing ideas for coffee,
Try list 5 potential marketing slogans for a new organic coffee brand. Each slogan should be 10 words or less and target environmentally conscious consumers. Constraints filter out the noise.
clarity, context, format, constraints. That feels like a solid toolkit. I think the source material had a quick quiz, didn't it? Maybe running through that could help cement the...
Good idea, yeah. It highlights these principles well. The first prompt was just, tell me about apples.
Very broad.
And the AI gave a detailed botanical description, the issue. Poor clarity and specificity. It didn't know what about apples you wanted nutrition, recipes, history.
Right. The AI just picked a path. What was the second one?
The second was generate a haiku about the feeling of rain. And it did. It produced a proper haiku.
So that worked because...
It clearly stated the desired format and style. Haiku. Rain. The AI followed the structural rule perfectly.
Makes sense. And number 3?
Number 3 was simply, what is the capital? The AI answered, Paris.
Ah, classic context problem.
Exactly. Poor contextual awareness, capital of where. It had to make an assumption.
Underlines that context point again. And the last one?
The last one was pretty specific. Write a short email to a client explaining a minor project delay. Keep the tone professional and empathetic, and ensure the email is no longer than 75 words.
And presumably generated a suitable email.
It did. That prompt successfully used both desired format and style, email, professional empathetic tone, and constraints and boundaries under 75 words.
Okay, seeing those examples really helps connect the principles to actual prompts. So wrapping this up, what are the big takeaways for the learner?
I think the main things are prompt engineering is really about clear communication with AI. You're using natural language, your language, to guide these powerful tools. It builds on how we've always learned to interact with tech, but it's more intuitive now. And remember, it's fundamentally about patterns. LLMs match patterns.
So your job is to provide a clear pattern.
Exactly. And you do that using those core principles. Be clear and specific, provide context, define the format and style you need, and set sensible constraints.
Clarity, context, format, constraints. Got it.
So the final thought for you, the learner, is this. Now that you understand these fundamentals, how might you start thinking differently about using AI in your work, in your learning? What new doors does this open up for you?
That's a great question to ponder. It's not just task completion. It's like unlocking a new way to augment your own thinking. And we definitely encourage you to think about how you could apply these principles to your own projects, your own sources. This has been really insightful. Thanks.
My pleasure. It's an exciting space.